For over half a century, American military strategy has relied on a very specific assumption. If you build the most sophisticated, precise, and technologically advanced weapons on Earth, you don't need to match your adversary weapon for weapon. Quality automatically defeats quantity. That assumption justifies the massive defense budgets behind systems like this. This is the Terminal High Altitude Area Defense System, or THAAD. It is a highly specialized, intensely complex anti-ballistic missile interceptor, and each one costs roughly $12 million. But that decades-old doctrine was recently put to the test during Operation Epic Fury. When conflict erupted in the Strait of Hormuz, waves of incoming fire exposed a vulnerability in the math behind those advanced defenses. The intense phase of this engagement lasted exactly 96 hours. 4 days of combat was all it took to send a shockwave through the highest levels of military leadership. Tactically, the U.S. forces successfully hit their targets, but the sheer volume of the engagement forced a realization: the economic assumptions that protect American interests were being tested by a reality they weren't designed to survive. The incoming fire consisted largely of Shahed 136 kamikaze drones. These are not stealthy, highly advanced aircraft. They are built using commercial-grade components that you can buy off the shelf, assembled for a fraction of the cost of traditional military hardware. This chart shows the estimated U.S. inventory of THAAD interceptors during that operation. Over just 4 days of defending the region, the United States burned through more than 30% of its entire classified stockpile. The losses extended to the platforms themselves. An E-3 Sentry AWACS, an airborne command and radar platform worth hundreds of millions of dollars, was destroyed. The U.S. only operates about 20 of these aircraft, and they are notoriously difficult to replace. The result is a paradox. An adversary using rudimentary technology can effectively bleed the world's wealthiest defender of its most vital assets. To understand how this happened, you have to look at the per-unit costs. The estimated median price to produce a single Shahed drone is about $35,000. Now look at the primary weapons used to shoot them down. A single Patriot PAC-3 interceptor costs roughly $5 million. A THAAD interceptor pushes closer to $12 million. You are looking at a 500-to-1 economic mismatch. For the cost of one THAAD missile, the attacking force can build and launch hundreds of drones. Beyond the money, there is a severe physical constraint. A sophisticated defense battery is highly localized. It has a limited number of launch tubes, protecting a massive amount of open airspace. Even if a $12 million missile hits its target with perfect accuracy every single time, destroying a $35,000 drone means the defender is losing the financial war. But the dollars spent are only half the problem. The U.S. defense industrial base is optimized for steady peacetime procurement, not rapid wartime consumption. This graph compares consumption against production, revealing a massive time debt. Because expanding manufacturing facilities and securing raw materials takes years, replacing the interceptors expended in that single 96-hour window will take the defense sector anywhere from 3 to 8 years to complete. This introduces a modern form of warfare. Instead of targeting soldiers or capturing territory, adversaries target the stockpile itself. It's the attrition of precision munitions. If a hostile nation can stamp out cheap, disposable drones faster than defense contractors can engineer complex replacement interceptors, they win the long game without ever firing a complex weapon. Nations from Japan to South Korea to the UAE integrate American missile defense into their security planning. But the Hormuz engagement proved the U.S. interceptor supply has a hard limit. Allies realize this protective umbrella cannot cover a sustained conflict. Iran is considered a mid-tier military power, and they managed to drain 30% of the THAAD inventory. The obvious question is, what happens if the U.S. faces a fully equipped peer adversary capable of launching thousands of drones and ballistic missiles simultaneously? The math guarantees that in a major, multi-front confrontation, the kinetic interceptor arsenal would run dry in a matter of hours, leaving those allied regions exposed to precision strikes. No defense budget on Earth is large enough to buy its way out of this deficit using traditional multi-million-dollar missiles. Surviving the next era of conflict requires a shift to systems that cost pennies to fire. The Pentagon is scrambling to field directed energy weapons and drone-on-drone defense measures designed to drop the cost per engagement to near zero. But until those alternative, low-cost solutions are successfully fielded at scale, the current military model remains economically unsustainable. The entrance of the $35,000 drone has effectively weaponized the United States defense budget against itself. American military superiority, once defined by the quality of its technology, faces a future where mass-produced quantity can simply price it out of the sky.